Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chasing 4Ks with Fox. This time around, I've got a new batch of 4Ks that I've been on the chase for and finally hunting them down, and they are now in my possession. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys enjoy.
And now, suspense.
So I got a couple of Disney titles to start off with. A couple of which that I've been wanting on 4K. I just wasn't really sure about if I should pull the trigger or not, because when it comes to 4K restorations, because when it comes to 4Ks, I typically think that animated films look just fine on Blu-ray. There are some exceptions that do kind of, upgrade and do look a lot better than the Blu-ray, but not all of them do. And especially the ones that are like 2D animated titles, say like the old school Disney films, like, let me show you here right now. The Lion King. When it comes to this type of animation, there's really only so much upscaling you can do. If we're being 100% honest, sometimes the upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K on animated films, there's really not much of a difference. A lot of times what they do is just kind of like crisp it up a little bit, and then the soundtrack is really what you're aiming for when it comes to animated movies, because in my opinion, the soundtrack is the real champion of a lot of animated titles. The visuals are going to look good regardless for the most part. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to get it. And I mean, it could look really nice, but either way, it's going to sound awesome. And that's what I'm here for. And the other animated title I have is another Disney classic, Aladdin, here on 4K. And once again, hopefully, the upgrade to 4K is worthy of it. This was only $9, so I figure it's not that much of a loss if it doesn't look too great. Plus, it still has the Blu-ray, so either way, it's a win-win. And this is still sealed, hasn't even been opened, and they're selling it for $9. So I had to jump on that. It was just too good of a deal. Next up is one that I've kind of had my eye on for a while, but just thought, you know what, it's a little too much right now. And kind of forgot about it. Found this at Bookman's for $15. So that comes to about $5 a movie. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. And, it has a really cool slipcover there. So yeah, I already have all three of these movies on 4K standalone. We got Ender's Game, The Last Witch Hunter, and Gods of Egypt. All look really good on 4K, if I'm being honest. But I really like when studios put out collection box sets, sort of things like this, because it allows me to get stuff for a cheaper value, and it allows me to create more space on my shelves, because honestly, that's one of the biggest problems that any physical media collector is going to have, is just running out of space, which I am running out of space very fast. So to be able to find something like this and then free up some space on my shelf, and then I can just sell or trade in these individual ones that I have, like, it's a win-win.
Money, 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 money.
Next up, I found this at, of all places, an FYE. I haven't stepped into an FYE in the longest time, but I was at the mall for Father's Day, and we went to see Inside Out 2, which is awesome, by the way. So we had like 45 minutes before the movie started, so we went to FYE, and I decided to look around. Wasn't thinking I was going to find anything. I was really just killing time. FYE has not had a very good selection of movies in a very long time, which is why I stopped going there. Believe it or not, when I first started the transition from DVD to Blu-ray and, upgrading all of my movies from DVD to Blu-ray, I started at FYE, and I went to, there used to be 3 of them in my area, and I would go to all 3 of them. Everybody who worked at the FYEs knew me because I was there all the time. They already knew me by name. I was friends with all the managers. But then after a while, I don't know what happened, but they just started to transition into more like pop culture stuff, including Funko Pops, figures, clothing, everything but movies. So a lot of their like movies sections just started to dwindle, and eventually a lot of the FYEs just kind of closed. There's only one FYE in my entire state, and it is at the mall 5 minutes from my house. Pretty much tells you how far down they've gone.
What happened to you, man? Used to be cool.
I'm still cool.
Nah, you've changed, man.
But while I was there, I was able to find They Live on 4K. Cool Scream Factory release. No slipcover, but it was brand new, so I just thought whatever. And it was like dirt cheap. They pretty much do not care about physical media, so they'll just slap on a sticker if it doesn't have one and be like, here you go. This is one that I haven't seen, so I've been meaning to watch it. And I have come across the steelbook a couple times, but always pass on it just because it was kind of high in price. And I just, like I said, I've never seen the movie, so I didn't really want to take a chance on it. But like I said, for finding this one at FYE for literally dirt cheap, so I figured no slipcover, but it's okay. I'll take it and I'll check it out, and hopefully I like it. Next up is a couple things that I grabbed from Zia. I traded in a bunch of stuff and got over $100 in credit. So now I'm just trying to, like, gather things here and there. I'm gonna hold on to the remaining credit that I have because there are a few titles that are coming out soon on 4K that I want to pick up day one. But when I went in today, I was able to find some really cool stuff that I've been on the hunt for the longest time. So I'm very, very happy to have it. First up is Tomb Raider, the two movie collection. I've been on the hunt for this one for the longest time. I was able to find Lara Croft Tomb Raider on 4K standalone a little while back. And then I was hoping that, number two, The Cradle of Life, would kind of come around, but it hadn't. So I figured, I was probably just going to have to buy this on Amazon. It hasn't been too expensive, but this one was $15 over at Zia. So I decided to grab it because I don't know how often this is going to show up. So really glad to have this one. And now I can just get rid of the first one and trade it in or whatever. And I've been picking up a lot more boutique labels lately. They've just been coming into my Bookmans and Zias pretty often now. So I've just been accumulating a lot of boutique labels. It's kind of weird. I used to never really care about boutique labels. I really only picked up stuff that I wanted. So now that I've been able to kind of experience what a lot of these boutique labels have to offer, I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with blind buying some of them. I'm buying a lot of this stuff on credit. So if I don't like it, I can just return it and get my credit back. So it's a win-win for me. So next up is another movie that I've been wanting to watch. Haven't seen it before. Heard a lot of really good things. And I really like the director. He's done some solid films. And this was an Arrow release. So what I have here is Mallrats. Kevin Smith directed. Never seen it before. Don't know what it's about. The only thing I do know is that, like, Stan Lee shows up in a cameo, but that's literally all I know about this movie. And Jay and Silent Bob are in it, but that's just normal in a Kevin Smith film. I was also just really attracted to this cover. Like, I really like the kind of cartoonish or comic book like animation to it. I think it's awesome. It's so plain, but it works. A lot of stuff works for me that's plain. I really like a lot of plain stuff. Yeah, this is really cool. Again, an Arrow release. I've been coming across a lot of really good titles on Arrow that are at a great price. So it's very hard for me not to just pick them up. And it comes with the 2 discs. What they did here, I really enjoy when they do this, is putting the extended version and the theatrical version on 4K. Nothing irks me more than when I buy something from a boutique label and they have the extended cut on just the regular Blu-ray disc. I'm paying for bougie stuff. I don't want, if I wanted the regular extended cut on Blu-ray, I would just buy the Blu-ray. You know what I mean? The appeal, at least to me, in buying 4K or even boutique labels is just to have every version of a film at my disposal on 4K. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what draws me in. Poster here. I'm assuming this has something to do with the movie. If you've seen the movie, let me know, or I'll find out, I suppose. But but like I said, I've never seen it, so I don't know. Then they have this little booklet here. But I did talk to one of the employees at Zia, and they had said that Mallrats was really good. They really enjoyed it. I'll take more of a recommendation from people that I talk to in person rather than like reviews or whatever on YouTube, because I mean, a lot of these people just kind of review movies just for content or for, a job. Whereas the typical consumer or somebody who works at one of these places tends to typically enjoy movies. So I'll take a recommendation from them any day. And last but not least, something that has come onto my radar pretty recently, and I didn't realize that it was so out of print, and the slipcover is even harder to find. At one point it wasn't too scarce, but then all of a sudden it's just gone and everybody online wants to sell it for an arm and a leg. So when I saw this at Zia, I kind of had to do a double take, and I was like, did I really just see that? Is that what I think it is? And I pulled it out, and lo and behold, I found The Post. Still has a slipcover, $12, $11.99 for The Post on 4K. This thing is out of print, and anytime I try to look for it, whether it be Amazon or eBay, smooths $50 to $75. It's ridiculous. And this is one of those movies that I kind of thought would have been a little bit more widely released. I thought it was something that, it was pretty critically acclaimed, so I don't know why it would just kind of disappear. But a lot of times what happens with these titles, they'll just kind of put them out very limited, especially if it's on 4K, they'll just put out a limited amount. And then once they're gone, they're gone. So, and then once people find out that they're, scarce or just kind of rare, and that's when prices skyrocket. And people like me lose out on just wanting to watch a good movie and not being able to find it for a good price until they show up at Zia for $12. So my buddy Tex let me know that this was a pretty good movie, and he and I have very similar taste in film. So whenever he recommends something, I know that he's going to recommend some bangers. So, and when I found out that this was on 4K, I wanted to check it out. And then soon after realized that, it's kind of out of print right now. So it's going to be a little hard to find, but patience is a virtue, and I'm very big believer of manifestation. So I'm just constantly in the mindset that I'm going to find a lot of these out of print or rare titles, and it happens.
I am the chosen one.
So here we have this week's catches. We got The Post on 4K. We got the era release of Mallrats on 4K. The 2-movie collection of Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider Cradle of Life. They Live, Scream Factory Edition. We got the 3-movie collection of The Last Witch Hunter, Ender's Game, and Gods of Egypt. And then 2 Disney titles, Aladdin and Lion King. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. I am your host, Fox. If you enjoyed this week's episode of Chasing 4Ks with Fox, please be sure to subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, ring the bell to be notified for new episodes, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.